When you think of the term pay to win, it's obviously a vehicle that you spend money on that performs better than normal tech tree vehicles. That is, of course, artificially increasing your chances of winning battles regardless of skill. This here is the Caernarvon Action 10, a Tier 8 British premium heavy tank, a vehicle that I personally regard as one of the strongest Tier 8s in the game. It's got fantastic hull-down capabilities, a gun that is able to penetrate its opponents easily and have enough DPM to keep other Tier 9s and Tier 8s running for their money. And it's got really good armor. I mean, there's nothing bad at all about this vehicle. But the saddest part is when we compare this to the Tech Tree Caernarvon, which is obviously free. You can grind down the British Tier 10 heavy tank line right now, and you'll get your hands on this vehicle at Tier 8. And while I don't think this is a terrible vehicle, statistically comparison, yeah, it's worse in almost literally every single number compared to the Caernarvon Action 10. Its dispersion is fantastic. It's 0.293. Its aiming time is great at 2.9 seconds, and so is the DPM at 25.22. And then you go over to the Action 10 and you realize, oh look, it has more DPM, a better aiming time, and better dispersion with the exact same penetration. Not only that, but they carry the same amount of gun depression. The mobility on the Caernarvon Action 10 is better on not only top speed, but as well power to weight ratio and acceleration. I mean, literally every single thing is better, and not to mention when we break into the armor profile as well, if we were to do that really quickly here, sure, you'll see that actually, surprisingly to some of you, the Caernarvon has a better upper plate. It's about 240 thick instead of the 230 millimeter thick upper plate on the Caernarvon Action 10. However, it's only 10 millimeters difference. I mean, it's really not going to make much of a difference, especially if you're using the gun depression on this vehicle. Even with premium shells, you're not cutting through that. It's 342 thick, which is incredibly thick when you do think of that. But take a look at the turret of this vehicle. It is almost a bounce everywhere. Even on flat ground, it is an incredibly strong turret. It's 220 thick. So if we compare that to the, the Caernarvon, I mean, even fully hull down, you can see the turret just has massive weak spots. 230 thick there, 250. I mean, sure, it's going to be troll to penetrate them, but it's definitely much easier to pen than that. Yeah, point in case. So the Caernarvon, it's not a bad vehicle. It's just not a good vehicle when you compare it to a vehicle that you can spend money on. However, in the next patch of the game, that is going to be changing. This here is a picture of the statistics for update 8.5 of the Caernarvon. It's going to have an extra 660 damage per minute, going up to 3,025. That is actually insane. I mean, it's going from what was a pretty good DPM value to now one of the highest DPM values in Tier 8, and in fact, I think that this will be the highest DPM Tier 8 heavies in the game. So, yeah, pretty dang strong there. I'm very excited to see how this vehicle is going to play with, you know, that much DPM. But yeah, let's get into a battle in the Caernarvon right now, talk about its strengths, its weaknesses, and everything else like that, and how I think the vehicle is going to play after they end up buffing it. Now, obviously, update 8.5 is going to have a huge list of buffs. I mean, if any of you haven't checked out, go look at Blitz Hanger where you can see all the changes yourself. But I'll be making some videos here and there talking about changes that are going to be going to vehicles that I specifically think are really cool. But yeah, the Caernarvon is definitely one. Oh gee, I just realized I'm in burning games. Well, so enough about burning games. Let's actually try this vehicle in a normal battle to see how it performs. Now, I don't think the Caernarvon is bad. Don't get me wrong. Its gun is actually really strong. It's one of the better guns in Tier 8 for a heavy tank. It's still got great DPM. It's just when you compare it to a vehicle like the Action 10, it's definitely got its faults, and there are so many faults that the Action 10 is literally just pay to win over this vehicle. But when Wargaming does buff this tank to have 3,000 DPM, I might have to take that back. I mean, 3,000 DPM is in a different metric of DPM. That is such an incredibly high amount when you think about it. That's going to be enough to easily deal with Tier 8 heavy tanks, and even if you get penned once or twice, I mean, yeah, DPM can be key, as we all know. Vehicles like the AT-15 sitting at 4,000, honestly, even though that tank might not seem amazing, if you know how to use that thing correctly, as I've made in many videos talking about that vehicle, you can literally dominate like no other in that tank. It is so easy to win in if you can use that gun. So we're going to try and use this gun, well, in this battle here. So here we are, getting into position. Hopefully we're going to be able to do okay. Now, as we looked at on the armor profile, the turret of this tank is not amazing. It's okay. I mean, you will get bounces with the turret, especially against most Tier 8s, but not the most bounces. I'll put it at that. You'll get a decent chunk of bounces. But right now, we are just pumping shells into the Smasher. Obviously, this guy is not good at the game. him. I don't really need to sugarcoat it. He just doesn't know how to play. So, yeah, we're getting some nice shells out. He fired an HE at me, and we've already basically ruined his game. So, I think we're definitely winning this engagement. We got the E75 TS off to the side, so we're doing okay right now. Let's see if we can get another shell in. Oh, that sucks. Well, you know, the Smasher's just going to chill up there, so let's aim in a shot on him. There you go. Again, 199 pen there. We do got that E75 TS, though, bouncing me again, so let's aim in another shell into that Smasher. 159. I mean, this poor guy, I don't know what he's doing, but he's definitely not doing a good job at it. We're just going to put it at that. Let's see if we can finish off him, and yeet! There you go. Beautiful shell, going right into the Smasher's turret. So we're already at 1,450 hit points, which is a pretty ridiculously high number when you think about it. Oh, I don't know how that missed, but it did. It definitely did miss. There's the Gravedigger, and let's see if we can get a shell into his vehicle. Well, my teammate's kind of blocking me, but we got a shell in. Let's see if we can get a shot into the side of the T-44. There you go. Nice 193 tap. And we'll get one more in because we got such a quick reload for only 190 damage. I mean, obviously the rate of fire is really good, only a 4.5 second reload. Nice tap into the Caernarvon's lower plate on the enemy team. And you can see that, yeah, the turret is actually pretty strong in that vehicle. I mean, you will get bounces on that turret. It's not bad. It's just not amazing either. It's not going to be, you know, getting all these bounces everywhere. So what am I going to do? I'm going to put on my speed boost, and we're going to start getting some shells into the side of the Gravedigger. I am speed, and let's see if we can get some shells in. There you go. Nice job. Now let's start shooting at vehicles like the C-75 TS. Okay, maybe not. Let's try that again. 3, 2, 1, and fire. There you go. Nice 215 roll there. We do have the Carnarvon off to the side here. There's another nice tap into his vehicle. I mean, we are easily sitting over 3,000 damage this game, which is a pretty incredibly high number when you do think about it. We're going to get one more shot into the Caernarvon. There you go. Nice tap into him. And now we're going to start shooting at vehicles like the E75 TS. There's one nice tap. Although, hopefully my team does an okay job dealing with those vehicles. We're over here, and we're just peppering shell after shell after shell into this poor guy here. Let's get another shot into that E75, and let's get another shot into this E75. I mean, that is where DPM can be key. Now, clearly, a vehicle like the Action 10 could have done everything here better. I mean, it has more DPM, it has more armor, so it probably would have and could have done everything better in this scenario. But either way, we are still sitting at 4,500 DPM, and let us... What? Okay. Apparently, we're going to bounce the side of an FE3, and let's try that again. There you go. Nice tap, 71 damage. And there you have it, folks. Fantastic battle, showcasing what this vehicle can do with just 2,500 DPM. So imagine adding another 500 onto that. We did 4,429 damage and came out with a mastery, and we blocked quite a bit of shells at that. We actually, oh my god, we fired 32 shots that game. That's actually insane. So, the Caernarvon, it's not bad. I think it's a fun tank to play. I was actually pleasantly surprised when I originally made my video on this tank, and after playing it and coming back to it again, it's again pleasantly surprising to drive. So, when this tank gets a DPM buff, honestly, it might be one of, if not the strongest tier 8 in the game, if used correctly. Obviously, that accounts to a lot of vehicles. You can name any tank being incredibly strong if used correctly, but when you got 3,000 DPM, making you the highest DPM tier 8 heavy in the game, yeah, I really want to see how it's going to perform. Hopefully, all of you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. Let me know your thoughts and comments about what I believe and what you guys believe about this tank getting buffed in the future. But hopefully, all of you enjoyed today's video, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye!